Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, they zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Ciotti's on sticks, Teddy's on paws, side by side legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen over couch scale terrain, backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz fuel fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Ciotti behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. Yeah, CiottiFPV, Teddy spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, things zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends sing it loud. Yeah, Teddy spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday Q&A and build stuff. In my ear, and you guys will be able to hear him too, is Kevin Sumner. Kevin, say something. Oh, it's not working. That's okay. So it was working when we tested. Let's troubleshoot it. So Discord audio is all the way down. Why? Do I have it muted? Nope. Mute, unmute. Okay. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try this. Let me come over here. Interesting. It's totally fine. What if I do? Nope, that ain't it. All right, so let me double click this. Application Discord, yes. Application audio capture, yes. Okay. Mute is not turned on. Share your screen, no. Well, great. I mean, we tried. Here, let's kill. I'm going to try killing the call with Kevin, and then I'm going to start a new voice call. And maybe that, nope, that didn't work either. Okay, well, that's great. Advanced. Let's try advanced audio properties. Oh, you guys are getting audio through the, oh man. So, well, let's check. I'm scratching the, oh, wait. Oh, that's weird. It's routing the audio through the AirPod, but it's telling me that it's from the Shure mic. Oh, that's super weird. Okay. So what if I do let's see. So oh, so now Kevin's coming through these speakers. Oh, I think I can maybe figure this out. Output, so I need to come here and well, so I can't use this. That's kind of annoying, but maybe not the end of the world. So you guys now have the proper microphone. That's good. Let me come in here to sound, and I'm going to go to output, and I want the output. Wait, no, maybe I can use this. AirPod. Yep. Oh, nope. When I do, well, okay, yeah. And then yeah. Here we go. Input through the microphone. Great. So now yes. Okay. So now you guys have audio through that. But why the hell is the audio not coming through Discord? That's super weird. Output. Let me try one thing. Let's try that. Nope. Still not working. Output through this. Weird. This was working a half an hour ago. Kevin, say something? Yeah, so I can hear him, but apparently you guys can't. What the hell is that about? Let's try this. There's something that sometimes works with Discord, is that you just do everything that you just did again.
Do everything again. Click.
Application audio capture. Oh, wait, I think that was just working. Talk again, Kevin? Nope. Discord. Okay. Now I have
They said they had
things going. Oh, I think it's working.
Shit, is that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, so now it's working. I did exactly what I did before, but I just did it all over again. So now I get to remove this.
Do it twice.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Now it's working. Very weird. So now I got to go to these other scenes and switch this around. So hold on. Let's do this and Mac OS audio capture, Discord. Okay. Remove. Yes. And then I have to go to the bench zoom and add. If I have to do this every time, then I'll find a different way, or we just won't do this because that's insane having to do this every single time. Discord audio, remove, yes. Okay.
If you look carefully, you can see my camera in the back of Ciotti's feed back there.
Yeah. So we're just doing this through Discord because why overcomplicate things? Although apparently I might have to do that every time. We'll find out next Monday. I'm thinking Monday nights. Bring Kevin on, and or now that I know how to do this on Discord, I guess I can do this with anybody. Which is kind of cool. So yeah, maybe Monday nights will be have somebody on, but Kevin is free. He's said most Monday nights, which is awesome.
Yep.
Because he's an OG fan, been around forever. We've been talking forever. Knows all the things. Does tons of work. He's one of the big contributors for Castle Crash. Does a ton. What do you do? What's your like sort of official title for Castle Crash?
So I've been a director for 2 years, and actually just last week I was voted in as chairman of the board for Castle Crash. So I'm setting up meetings and taking notes and all that jazz. Yeah.
Dude, thank you. It is Kevin does a lot. I can just tell you guys, a lot. Hey, how are the levels between Kevin and I? if I just talk normal and I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Kevin says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
it looks good on my levels. I just bumped him up 2 dB, so I think we're good.
Okay.
Oh wait, no,
Jimmy the
actually,
Cow.
I think he's
Jimmy the
lower.
Cow throwing some shade on your audio, Ciotti.
Yeah, right. Hold on. I had my now. I am coming in too low because I was confused earlier. Now that's my normal audio setup. Okay, so now I should be back to normal. I think Kevin, you might still be a little bit too hot, so we're gonna
Let's
come
see
one
if I'm a
dB
little
down.
too loud.
All right, so that should be better balanced now. When I talk loud, it peaks, and then when Kevin talks loudish,
When I talk loud, I'm not going to get really loud tonight. I'm still a little hoarse from, I've been sick. So,
all right, cool. That should be good to go. Awesome. Frank Nicholas says Kevin is really close to you. Perfect. In the chat, Kevin Sumner was first. Go figure. Impala Bob, FizzPV, Howdy Newbie, Uriel, P Money, Jimmy the Cow, Chef Bruno, Frank Nicholas, McMucus. Looks like you guys are all having a conversation. Spaceman Spiff, here we go. Life Behind Bars, Uriel, Skull 901, B Mud Skipper, Whoop Fox, Chef Bruno again, Uriel again, McShaky, Jimmy the Cow again, Skull 901, Uriel, P Money, B Mud Skipper, CCAD Ryan. Who else is here? Howdy Newbie Frank, Chef, CCAD, Life Behind Bars. Did I get everybody? I got most of you. If you want me to say your name, you got to get in earlier. Or just type at CiottiFPV. Now that YouTube has made everything worse, again, you have to type at and then the person's name for it to actually show up. I guess if you're not going to make shit better, you might as well make it worse. That way, like, job security, right? Like, you're working at YouTube and you're like, oh, they might fire me. I'm going to break this, and then I'm going to tell them about it, and I'll be like, I'm going to have to fix it. It's going to take me like a year. And they'll be like, all right, you can stay, you scum.
Ciotti, the only reason that I can think of that they would have made this change is so that you can take somebody's at name and drop it into the URL. So like youtube.com/at username and see their channel.
That is pretty much the only thing I can possibly think of either. Boy, is that a stretch, though. Jesus. But yeah, I what a pain it is to stream on YouTube. That's okay, though. Hey, tonight we are going to build the 2S 1.6-inch prop Walksnail rig that I did a live stream like a month ago saying that I was going to build, and then we got no work done on it. And then at the end of the stream, I was like, yeah, just pretend like I built it. But we talked about all the parts and whatnot on that live stream, so you can go back if you want. Don't. Just watch this one. We'll talk about them. And then I'm going to sell it because I'm moving a lot of Walksnail stuff on. I have a bunch of Walksnail light camera and VTXs that instead of... They're up. I think they're up on the Etsy store right now. You can just buy them. I think they've been up there for a couple weeks and nobody's bought one yet, so I figure I'll try building with them and then try to con you guys into buying an entire build. See if this works. So yeah, this is going to be for sale. We're going to build it, and then I'm going to put it up on the Etsy store, and if nobody buys it, I'll die. So, it's the choice is yours. A 44-year-old dies, or you buy a good 1.6-inch 2S Tiny Whoop. It'll rip. I've had a super similar, almost identical build. This almost identical build was one of the very first 2S 1.6-inch HD rigs that I ever did. And it is what opened my eyes to just 2S being everything when you're carrying around the extra weight of the HD system. So, yeah, we'll do that tonight. And then if you want first crack at it, message me somewhere because that'll save me from having to do the the Etsy listing. But otherwise, it'll be up on the Etsy within 2 to 3 months. I'll get it up there more recently than that since I have the live stream about it now. I am screwing down a bunch of these iFlight motors that you can't really get, 1002 14,000s, to this Mobula 8 frame. I'm not really sure why, but that's what I'm doing. So, we got that going for us. What do you think about that, Kevin?
I mean, sounds great. I don't know what to say about that.
I like this. I like being able to just say something and then I can focus on what I'm doing for a little bit.
Yeah,
There
right.
is we established before the stream there's about a 1 second delay. I kind of wonder if there's a better at some point. Kevin and I need to have a conversation through this to see what it's like to see, because like I hate when through the internet people have the conversation and there's like that horrible delay between everything that they say and then inevitably they talk all over each other. Discord is not usually like that, but yeah, that's if that's too much, I'll try to figure out another way to get audio back and forth. But this is the easiest possible way to do it, and Discord is pretty good. So this is what we're trying first. We'll see how it goes. Great. Why do I do this? Why? Uriel says, I'm working on it. What are you working on? Jimmy the Cow says, live stream, you know it's a good Monday. CiottiFPV live stream, you know it's a good Monday. Thanks, dude. Jimmy also says, your audio... yeah, thank you for that. Sounds like it's from the iPod. It was. Frank Nicholas says, audio is through iPod. No longer AirPods. Sounds normal mic now. Good. Frank says, we hear Kevin. Awesome. Jimmy the Cow says, his audio is better than yours. Yeah, his mic is a lot closer. My mic is basically an arm's length away, so that it will pick up me at the workbench over here, as well as me here, as well as when I'm like sitting back, flying and whatnot, and or walking around the room to retrieve. So yeah, you guys get a little bit more room echo with me. It's always been like that, so and nobody has complained too much. Only a couple people have complained. But Kevin, move your mic back. Stop sounding so good. Damn it.
Want me way back here? Is that
there you go. Perfect. See, there it is. Happy now? Chef Bruno says a little low. Okay, good. Jimmy the Cow says you're quiet. Thank you for that. Frank Nicholas says quieter than normal. Kevin's louder. Okay, good. Got it. Dialed in. Okay. All right, good deal. Life Behind Bars says, what's up? Chef Bruno says, you're good. You're pretty close. Uriel says, I stayed up late to be here. We appreciate it. Malik Xenon says, what's up? Went to my first 5-inch race and had hella fun time. Love that. Ramalala is in the house. He says, good evening, Ciotti and Kevin Sumner and Euro. And just like that, we're caught up on chat. Amazing. That means we can start working on stuff. I've learned in the past week that the key to me actually being able to complete builds on the live stream is that I have to work on them. That's it. I just have to work on them. Instead of sitting here and just hanging out with you guys and talking into the chat, I have to actually like move over here and work on them. So we'll do that now.
Turns out you got to do work to get work done.
Yeah, wait, no. Wait. Look at this. Look at this absolute hogwash. This is what good. Sometimes I do the things that good YouTubers do. This is what they look like. And guys, here's my reaction. You'll get to see my reaction live. Oh.
Now I got to know, because Reese's are my favorite candy. Well, peanut butter cups my favorite candy, and Oreos are pretty high up there.
I love all the Reese's stuff. I love most of the Oreo stuff. They do not belong together. They're not bad. It's not bad. Milk doesn't really help them, unfortunately. Some wacky flavored Oreos, milk really helps them out. This is not the case. These are the best dry, but they're not great. There's no real reason to get it. It's a good gift, though. Get it for somebody else. And then they'll be like, oh! And then you can take one, you can eat it. And then you'll have saved a bunch of money because, you know, You won't have wasted the money on a gift, but you won't have to eat 30 of the fucking things. They're not bad. They're not bad. They're just not good. I would rather eat regular Oreos or Reese's. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna mail these to you, Kevin, so that you have to suffer through the rest of the box.
Man, you do it, and I will definitely eat them.
I ate the center row. I'll mail this to Kevin. He'll eat this row here, and then he'll mail it to somebody else. Is there anybody in chat that Chef Bruno says those are good AF? Is there anybody in chat that's incredibly curious about these that would be subjected to eating the third row of these after Kevin? No promises, but I might legitimately send those to you, dude.
Yeah, man. Skull 901 says, how can a cookie not be good with milk? That's my question. Although I absolutely love milk. Milk and baked goods are like my go-to. So
yeah, me too. I like, they're not bad. Like, they're not bad with milk. It's just that milk doesn't save them. There's a couple of flavored Oreos where dry, they're not all that good, but then you let them sit in milk for a minute, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I would buy these again. This is not the case. It just It tastes pretty much like the same, I guess, in milk.
Chef Bruno says iced milk, and I have to agree. Like, the colder that you can get to milk before it starts freezing, getting icicles in it, the better.
I'm down with the cold milk as well. All right, so to business. I've taken care of one thing so far here. By the way, the Cinesplore build is, look at it, it's done. I'm just waiting on antenna mounts and whatnot. But yeah, this is done. Props are on it. I haven't flown it yet, but it's ready to be flown. I just need those antenna mounts. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me, friends, over the last few live streams and watching me do the Cinesplore build. If you have any questions, let me know. But there were some good discussions and good tech in the last few live streams building that Cinesplore. It is the best of the Cinewhoops. Like, just the end. I don't think there's a single argument of that. Because basically nobody's come out with another Cinewhoop frame since that one, and Bob learned a lot of lessons from all the other ones that came out before it. So, if you want the best of the Cinewhoops to go nice and slow and carry a GoPro Hero and all that jazz, well, there you go. So yeah, I've done one thing, which is to solder on this BT 3.0. I wanted to, I don't know why I did it off stream, but I got these, I shortened up these wires a little bit. This is going to be this is going to have Walksnail, so there's going to be a second board on top of here, and I hope that it's going to clear. It should clear this. There shouldn't be an issue. But I didn't usually, so this is let me take a step back. This is a Happy Model, which one is it? Super X HD ELRS board, and the battery pads here have the little pockets on them. Kevin, are you one of these people that can remember what that word is for those pockets on the side of the effing PCBs, or are you like me?
They are either called castellations or crenellations.
That's the word, castellations. So these have those castellations, which are basically just like those little round pockets that you can put the wire into. It's like half a through hole, right? And so you can put the wire in, which is really nice. When you put the wire into there like that, it's super strong, super clean. But then the wire goes either straight up or straight down. I could have absolutely run the wires straight down, and then you put your little 300 or 450 mAh BT 3.0 battery in here, and then that battery has the little wires, and then these wires, and you're good. The problem is when you nose this into stuff, that battery, since it doesn't have a plastic cap on the back, it just goes shooting out. And yeah, you can like do things to the inside of the battery bay, like put a little bead of E6000 because it's kind of like a grippy rubber, or you can wrap the battery up in tape to kind of prevent that. Or I I always forget who it was, and it drives me insane, but some beautiful bastard in our Discord realized that on the Mobula 7 V3 frame, the BT 3.0 fits absolutely perfect through this little hole in the back of the frame. And so when you put your battery in here, you then plug the battery into here, and this is like basically solid mounted here. So the battery, it'll slide a little bit forward, but it won't slide all the way out Dingleberry style and drag on the ground and go all to hell. So this is my absolute favorite thing for these 2S 1.6 inch builds. I wish there were 2-inch or 1.8 inch frames that had a similar kind of setup here, but there aren't. Hold on, let me take care of that real quick, because that's going to drive everyone completely insane. There we go. All right. So, yeah, I took care of that. Let's talk about grommets. So these are the Happy Model, I don't know what they call them, but like just extended sort of grommets. Let's see if that'll focus. Yeah, look at that. This is basically the tallest of the grommets that are longer on one side than the other. The majority of the grommets that are longer on one side than the other are like this one. That is like the normal amount of... Come on now. You can do this. You were so good a second ago. There it is. Well, there it was. Yeah, the majority of the grommets that are longer on one side than the other are like this. On a setup like this, we're going to use this one. You can get these. RDQ used to sell these extended grommets with a set of their extended hardware. A lot of you probably already have these because these are fairly common. These come with like the Mobula 7 1S. A bunch of the Happy Model rigs come with these guys. These are perfect for these double stack setups. What you're going to do is you're going to put the short side down and then the extended side up above, and that's going to give the Walksnail board enough room to where you don't have stuff smacking into each other. This AIO is pretty flat on the top. The tallest part of this AIO is this silver bastard here, which this is probably not going to focus on. Let's flip over here. And so that guy right there, which I believe I think that might be the 5-volt Beck. Doesn't really matter what it is. Kevin, do you happen to know?
That is probably probably the voltage regulator, yeah.
Word. So that's the highest point, and it's not really all that high. So this is going to be kind of nice. The previous version of this build, I used the Beta FPV 12 amp AIO, and it has a plug header up on top, which is significantly taller than that. So this should be super easy to get. This is one of the most difficult things with these double stack Whoop builds is how do you get these two boards as close together as possible, because the lower it is, the stronger the entire build is going to be, but you got to make sure that nothing hits between these two boards. And so this is actually going to be really easy. I should only need to run these grommets here, and then I can either slam this down on top with no grommets on it, which I'll try, or I might have to put regular grommets into this. I hope I don't have to do that because the Walksnail Lite is an M 2.5 hole here, which makes it really difficult to get the grommets in. But we'll see. I'll do what I have to do. I forgot to bring the chat over. Hold on. There we go. Now I can see it. You Can FPV says, are we flying tonight? I already flew 24 300s today. We'll see. If I can get this thing done, which I probably won't be able to, I might fly. But I didn't put hashtag 6 batteries in the title because I assumed that I'd be working on this the entire time. Chef Bruno says, I don't often not agree with Ciotti, but cookies are definitely better with milk. Oh, no, I agree with you 100%. I was just saying these specific ones aren't saved by milk. Oreos without milk, I still like them, but my God, regular Oreos with milk is one of the greatest things on earth. Even with rice milk, believe it or not. Whoopfox says, do you know if you can put a VTX on a 2G4? Mine is 50/50. Sometimes the video starts and I get tons of static just because the black screen with OSD. You can, but it's going to add a bunch of weight and complexity. And so to me, you should just suck it up and buy another one. The 2G4, most 2G4s live forever, and it sucks that you happen to get one that the VTX failed, but that is not the norm. So like if you buy another 2G4, it'll probably last forever for you, and you won't have to go through all the nonsense that is putting an external VTX on. In order to do it, you have to find, there's a set of jumpers basically that are bridged on the 2G4. You have to unbridge those. If you Google search it, you'll the Happy Model shows you where it is somewhere on their website. It's kind of hard to find, but there's info on how to do it out there. It is totally doable, but it sucks, to be bluntly honest with you. So let me get the soldering done before I really want to see how this is going to stack up, but it doesn't make, well, actually it does matter. All right, so I have to do that. One of the games that you play, getting these things to stack on top of each other, is what sort of orientation are you going to put the top board? The bottom board, when it has a USB port on it, the USB port has to face downwards. So the bottom board is going to be in this regular, normal orientation. Your HD board, you can put it right side up, you can put it upside down, you can put it this way, this way, this way, or that way. So there's 8 different orientations that you can put it in. I think on that last stream, I figured out the orientation that I wanted to put it in, and then a month went by, and obviously I don't remember.
That Black Jason in chat is also suggesting Kapton tape between those two boards for extra.
That's a really good idea.
Extra help.
I've never, so I've done a bunch of these double stack builds, and I've never done that, and I've never had issues. If I had Kapton tape, I would do that. But you really want to make sure that you have enough of an air gap in between these. Like that is a really good idea, and if you have the tape, you should do that for sure. But even flat mounting this Walksnail, which I very well might do instead of putting the grommets in it, you can see we've got a ton of clearance in between these two. Even if I start to squish on this, and the grommets won't collapse like that once they have screws through them. Even when I start squishing on this, you can't see, but there's a ton of clearance. On the top of this Walksnail board is the UFL for the antenna. So if I was to mount this HD board upside down, then it would be damn near impossible to swap the antennas out without taking the whole build apart. And so I typically don't do that. The MIPI cable, yeah, okay. If I set this up with the UFL facing up, the MIPI is on the bottom, but usually you don't switch the camera out, right? Like if you blow up the camera and you have to unplug it, you're probably taking the build apart anyway. You're gonna swap out UFL antennas way more often than the MIPI. So I'm gonna put this in this orientation with the UFL facing upwards. Also, that helps with the little plug that you need to access to get the footage off this thing. And so now that I know that this is going to be up, we can just take the canopy and the camera, and a lot of times it won't sit in certain ways on here. So we'll take a quick look. All right, so in this example here, if I were to mount it like this, the UFL port is all over the front of the camera mount. So can't put it in this direction. We'll rotate it like this. The UFL plug is going to be like one of the highest points, so that's a really easy thing to kind of take a look at. If I put it sideways like this, again, the UFL plug is right on top of the left side mount for the camera. Yeah, this is going to be a problem in all 4 orientations. Here, putting it backwards. Yep, it's almost as bad. And then, of course, on this side, it's going to be bad too. All right, so I don't. Well, so the game is going to be. I'm going to have to cut plastic out of the canopy. That's just a guarantee. Um, okay, so it looks like I've already done that a little bit. I've removed a little bit of material from this. So this is from the build that I already did, and I've removed some material here already from the front of the canopy. I've also done it back here, so it looks like I've had it mounted in two different orientations. Okay, so I'm going to either... Now I'm down to two different options. So I'm either going to put that UFL in the front or I'm going to put it in the back. Let me take a look here. I have a feeling I'm going to put it in the back. But I'm not going to be able to flat mount this, I don't think. I think I'm going to have to put grommets into this VTX just because I just don't think there's going to be any other way to get a UFL plugged in here. Yeah, it's the best with it in the back. So that's how I'm going to mount it.
If you put it towards the back, could you notch out the plastic?
Like yeah, so I've already done that a little bit. Let me show you.
It's hard to tell because, Logitech is being Logitech tonight.
Yeah. So you can see how the canopy is just all janky, like I went after it with a pair of flush cutters, right? So I've already removed a little bit of material. Obviously, I'm going to have to remove a little bit more here because you can see if... But it also doesn't look like I'm going to be able to flat mount this. Like I said, maybe I'll just run a grommet in the back. I think I'm going to try that. I think I'm going to try to just run a grommet in the back. I would really rather not run 4. But obviously, like I would have to cut that whole... I would have to cut this entire side of the plastic off, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So let's try this. This will be kind of interesting. Let me grab the thinnest possible Walter grommet and Mr. MIPI that I've got. And I think that's going to be the VTxFPV clear ones. I'm looking for the grommet with like the thinnest top part. And apparently this is not the little case where I have those. It must be in this one. Yeah. Okay, so it's not the clear one, it's the blue one actually. So VTxFPV sells this set of grommets, and they have black, clear, and blue. What's really cool about the little kit of grommets that they sell is that they are designed for different thicknesses of PCBs. And this blue one here is designed for the thickest PCB. And so the top and the bottom are the thinnest. See how thin that the wide bits are on the top and bottom? So this is kind of the one that I want to use because I don't want this to be... Well, two things. This HD board is pretty thick, right? So like if I hold this up next to it, it's probably just about perfect. See that? All right, so this is the HD boards have a lot of shit going on them. And so, yeah, let's get this put into here. Well, let's try to get this in here. This is going to be tough. Because these are M2.5 holes and not M3 holes, this is going to suck. But we'll do it anyway. I am not going to take the heat sink off of this Walksnail light. It's very difficult to do it, and it always just kind of creeps me out, and it's not that heavy. I think it's 0.8 of a gram. It's been a long time since I weighed one of them, though. Let me try to do this with my bare hands first. Oh my god, I remember this. This is brutal. What's going on in the chat, Kevin? Anything fun?
Let's see. There's some Mazda talk.
Oh my god, no way.
Life Behind Bars and FizzFPV are talking about let's see, ways to make your ride smoother. Talking about coilovers.
All right.
tight, curvy roads here.
Come on, get in there, you bastard.
That conversation in chat a little bit earlier with Jimmy the Crow about tuning in Expo, and I gave him the suggestion of overshoot when you're test one time, overshoot, test again, and see if you need to go back between the two or you need to go even further. And so if you need to come back between the two, go to the middle point between those two. So and then test again. And then if you need to go, up, add more expo, do it again. Take the half point between the point that you're at right now and the last point or whatever, and basically continue working that way. And in computer science, this is called a binary search. And basically, it means that like you get to approximately what you're looking for the expo value very, very quickly.
Love it. The only thing I'll add is make sure you're making changes that are big enough that you actually feel them. The placebo will be super strong, and so you'll be like, yeah, no, I definitely felt it. I like it better. And then, like, it's just the placebo a lot of times. So like, make big changes with rates, with PIDs, with a lot of the stuff that we do. You can get away with making a big change to make absolutely sure that you can feel what is happening, and then bounce back and forth. Bouncing back and forth like that is the way to do it. Yeah, I got it, you son of a bitch. That is really difficult. So I can't get these. I can't put grommets into these Walksnail light boards without these blunt tip tweezers. I cannot do it with my bare hands. Usually I can. So yeah, what you guys just saw is the way. If you have trouble getting these grommets in, or if you're trying to do it on one of these Walksnail light boards, blunt tipped tweezers are the answer. You grab the grommet in the middle like this, like lengthwise. Hold on. Let's go here and we'll go like this. All right, so you grab the grommet like that so that you've made a point, and then you can put this like 45-degree angle to get that little bit started. And then what you do is you just pinch. You just like kind of pinch and push a little bit, pinch and push, and you push you have the grommet in there at a 45-degree angle, and when you pinch it, you can just get it to scooch a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And the blunt tipped tweezers are important because they're not going to punch holes in the rubber grommet. So yeah, that's the way to do that. I didn't know there was a name for that. What was the name for it again, Kevin? In computer science?
It's called a binary search, where you have a start point and an end point, or you have a start point and then you make a large adjustment, and then now you have a range, and then you split that range in half, and then you figure out whether it's the upper portion of the upper half or the lower half from there, and then you split the range again, and you try that midpoint in that new range.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. All right, so this is how we're going to try to do this. I don't know if only having this rear grommet is going to work, but we're certainly going to try, because now when we hold the canopy up to it, now we actually have a little bit of space for that UFL to live there. See that? There's now a gap there that's just about the thickness of a UFL port. And it's actually kind of okay if the canopy pushes into this top board, because this board does not have a gyro on it, right? And it will. That canopy will push down against the antenna that we have plugged in here. So, all right, now we know the orientation that this thing is going to be mounted in, which is like that. And so now we can cut this connector off and figure out where the hell these 4 wires are going to hook up to. I have the little wiring diagram here.
For those grommets, Uriel suggests grease or spit on them. I don't know if he's joking about the spit, but
yeah, I'm hoping he was joking about the whole thing. I'm curious if he actually uses grease. The problem, I don't think grease would help, because then it would make your tweezers slide all over the damn place. But I'm actually kind of curious if he has actually had luck with grease. Jason Black says, utilize that 3D printing jib beside you to make a canopy. So 3D printed TPU canopies on Tiny Whoops are not my favorite. They don't typically hold the camera quite solid enough to keep it from like smashing into stuff, and it's also just kind of heavy. Like a molded canopy like this tends to be lighter and stronger. So for me, I know the racers a lot of times go with the 3D printed canopies, but there aren't molded canopies that are light enough for them, which is why they typically do it. For us doing freestyle stuff, this Mobula 6 molded canopy is really the way to go in most cases, in my opinion, and in my sort of experience crashing the shit out of these things and pounding on them and whatnot. Where are you at in terms of Tiny Whoops, Kevin? What do you have?
So let's see. I have 4 analog 65s. Those are probably what I fly most regularly. 300 mAh batteries, 0702, at least 30,000 kV. A couple of them are on the 40,000 kVs. And then I have some 75s built up. Mostly, I'm thinking, I'm trying this 2S75 thing right now. I'm waiting on the AIOs to come in. I bought the wrong AIOs. So I'm waiting on the AIO 15s, because I run HD0 for a lot of my stuff.
Oh, you gotta let us know how that goes. I'm super curious if they'll be as finicky as the AIO 5.
Yeah. Actually, I've had decent success with the AIO 5. So
do you just ignore the temperature warnings?
Yeah, you can mostly ignore the temperature warnings unless they get crazy hot. The other thing is, I'm just really conscious about keeping my stuff not on the line warming up.
Sure.
Yeah. And hey, a gangly fan helps with that.
Yeah.
Always
indeed.
plug it in and use it as a launch pad.
Oh, nice, as a launch pad. Yeah, I never thought about that. All right, so Kevin, hold on. Let me add you. I got to add you to the monitor mic thing. So I'm going to lose you for a second, but I'm going to add you right back in. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here. Mac OS audio capture, add existing, Discord. Okay. All right, now I got you on here as well. So I need to figure out where the hell the pads are on this thing. Super X. Yeah, that'll work. All right, cool. So that was good. Oh, look, it's taking me to Happy Metal's website. Who would have thought? Oh, good. There's multiple versions of it. I was just sitting here like, it would be great if there were multiple versions of the same product with the same name, so that I could just be in a little bit of extra misery tonight. So it looks like this one has a ceramic antenna, so we do not have that one. I have this one down here with the wire antenna. Yeah. Yep. So I got this one down here. So, okay. Oh, man, I'm going to be able to have these wire runs be infinitely short. TX, RX, S-Bus, we won't use that. 5 volt and ground, even better on this side. Yeah, we're going to use these, I think, on this right side here. Ground, TX2, RX2, 5 volt. Jeez, this thing's got pads all over the place. LED strip, 5 volt down here. All right, so let's see. With this thing, how do they have it? Okay, on the screen they have it like that. And then we're running this like this. So yeah, these wires come out here. Oh. So I can either run these wires like that and then go straight down to those pads here, or I can kind of like loop these. If I was going to loop these to get, so the pads are here and here, and this is how this, so I can either run them down like that, where they'll be like stupidly short, or I can run them across. I'm probably going to run them across here, because if they were if I ran them crazy short, yeah, sure, I'd save a little bit of weight, but then it's a nightmare to work on this, right? Like once you have these things wired together and the wire run is 2 millimeters long, these two boards are just going to be a pain in the ass. You're not going to be able to move them around, and sometimes when you're trying to like fit this into the frame or God knows what else, that's just super annoying. So what I'm going to do, what I'm pretty sure I'm going to do here, is run these across and then down. And that also helps because, yeah, these are the pads with the pockets on the side, so I can run them literally straight down into here, which I kind of have to. They don't have much of a pad on top. So, yeah, that's what I'll do. Run these across. The only thing I got to be careful of is what's the canopy have to say about this? So, let's put these wires flat. And with the canopy on top, yeah, that's good. That's fine. So the canopy is going to sit really close to this board up in the front here, but it looks like we have just enough room for these wires to kind of peek out there. So it's going to be tight, but as always, Kevin.
Hi. Sorry, I was responding in chat.
This is where you have to say, that's what she said.
Oh, that's what she said.
Because I said it's going to be tight.
Oh yeah, that is definitely what she said.
It's good to have someone else that's a child in here. It's not just me. I am going to have to... Oh, these wires are going to cross a little bit, which is going to be kind of annoying. For some reason, they've got the ground pad all the way up in the front and then the 5-volt in the back. That's kind of stupid. But, you know, that's life, I guess. So let's stack these up. Let me get this antenna out of the way. And we're going to stack this up here. And just like what we were doing with the Cinesplore on the last couple streams, we're going to kind of like run the wires the way they're going to run, and then we're going to cut them just a little bit long. Although, boy, you do not want to cut them long on these tiny whoops because there's not a lot of places for them to kind of go. But we're going to be all right. So put it like that, and then here's the pads that they need to hook up with. And so I can kind of just do one of those. And now we're going to come down here, and we're going to go 1, 2. I'm actually going to cut the ground wire a little bit longer because he has to go all the way up in the front. And the voltage wires. I probably should have cut those a little bit longer than that, but it's too late now. We're going to strip them and tin them. I'm going to click the soldering iron on over here. Drunzen says, when did you get a co-host? Awesome. Yeah, we're trying it for the first time tonight. This is Kevin Sumner, OG hanger-outer, and somebody that I'm lucky to call my friend in the FPV world. Go back to the beginning of the stream if you want some of his resume. We talked a little bit about it.
FPV credentials.
Yeah, his exactly.
I'm having a good conversation in chat with Howdy Newbie 1290. We're talking about what temperature your electronics can be before you start breaking them, and the answer that I have been giving is first off. Most electronics don't like to be above 80 to 90 C. So for us cheeseburger eaters, that's like 175 Fahrenheit to 195 Fahrenheit. The other thing is that it's not, for our stuff, typically it's the power amplifiers on the VTXs that are both generating that heat and also become damaged by that heat. And what we actually care about is not that they get hot, it's that they get hot and stay hot for a while. And so that damage actually accumulates in the power amplifiers over time. So what you really want to do is keep it as cool as you can for as long as you can, preferably by flying it, because who wants to waste a battery sitting on the landing pad, right? Yeah, that's the number that I typically shoot for, is about 80 C. And if it's a problem, I'll bring it in and try to figure out what's going on. The other thing is, sometimes when you get breakage on the boards and you have a high resistance, some kind of high resistance trace. If the trace is broken, it'll have high resistance across that break, and you'll get a hot spot on the board. And if that's close to the to the MCU, then you'll start get temperature warnings as well. But yeah, those AIO 5s run hot just because they have the HD0 VTX on them, and those run hot.
What's the conversion again to Fahrenheit?
Let's see. It's 175 to 195.
Wow, yeah, that my AIO 5 would get up to 180 in a hurry.
Yep. Yep. These, because they're solid state, they can go a little bit higher. Like hard drives. Hard drives do not like to run hot.
Interesting.
Moving components.
I wonder if that's
Heat.
why I've had hard drive failures in the past.
I mean, heat plus moving components, right? It's just
Yeah.
like a car engine, right? The hotter you run it, the more wear you get.
I am stripping just the tiniest little bit of the silicone off here because the AIO is very thin, and the pads that I'm using are itty bitty, and so look, that is all that I cut off on the silicone. Also, because you get a little bit of, where's it at? You get a little bit of inner strand of wire for free when you use your fingernail to pull the silicone down a little bit. So you usually don't need to strip off as much as you think you do, because you can push the silicone down a little bit. It's a trick that my dad showed me ages ago. That always works. It doesn't always work. It usually works. Usually the silicone is like especially after you strip it, because you kind of pull on the silicone a little bit. Always do this. If you don't do this, as soon as you put heat to it, this is going to happen. All right, so let's tin these guys. Jimmy the Cow is ignoring rebuilding a fried ESC on a Nevada for a friend. Ugh, your stream is way more fun working on a DJI drone. I took a Nevada apart to do the big motor and frame mod for the guy that paid for my passport, 1 week passport, and flew me to Los Cabos to fly for him. The only reason that I agreed to do this is because he did all that for me, and he's been a great client of mine. I've done a bunch of work for him, and boy, I've never been more frustrated working on anything. It was just awful. It's yeah. I would love to wipe that out of my memory banks forever. It was just brutal. It was the Axis kit that I did, and like the instructions weren't very good, and like it's just, taking something that is designed for a very specific plastic frame and then trying to put it into a carbon fiber frame is just an awful idea, top to bottom. So do not recommend any of you ever do that.
I wonder why DJI doesn't do carbon fiber frames just out of the factory. At least carbon fiber skeleton inside of the plastic.
You would think, right? You would think.
And I mean, at their scale, they could even pay for carbon fiber molding.
Yeah, that's true. That would, I'll bet you that would make them more expensive, though, being able to just bang out a...
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it is, the Avadas are staggeringly durable. My God, I don't know if I've ever seen one with a broken frame. It's just, well, because I guess by the time you break the frame, the gimbal and camera setup is on fire, but...
It's 30,000 pieces spread across the field.
Seriously. Darby says, "Yo, thanks for all you do for the community. I have a fleet of mobs HD0s all down right now. Would love to pay for your time to help get these working. If I can line something up with you over on. Hey, by the way, friends, if you like this live stream and you want to see it continue, head over to CiottiFPV.com. Lots of different ways you can support me. In this case." One of the ways you guys can support me is to book time with me over on Fiverr. There's a link to Fiverr on there. And then the prices and whatnot are there. I've got a couple things like build planning and flying instruction. Those are like the things that I've done a lot, and I feel like people have gotten a ton of value out of. But you're just buying my time. Like the pricing is the same on all those things, so you're just buying a half an hour of my time. And so yeah, you can do it there if you want. So like Fiverr is going to offer you a little bit of protection, right? Like if I do a bad job, you can complain to them and they'll probably get you some sort of a refund. If you don't want to go through that bother, because you can just come to these live streams and hammer on me if I rip you off, just contact me. My contact info is all on the website. Best spots to get me, to be honest, the spots that I check most frequently are going to be Instagram and Discord. If you email me, it's going to be at least a couple days before I get back to you, because I just get railroaded in my inbox every single day, all day long, it seems. So yeah, here are the 4 pads. I need to, wow, these pads are itty bitty. Jesus. I'm going to get these pads tinned up. I would not be able to do this without magnification. Oh boy, what a... This is ridiculous. They have components right next to these pads. Look at this. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Logitech, you got this. Don't make me smash you. Why does it focus so well on things that are flesh colored? That's what.
Well, if you were tuning a camera that people mostly use for video conference, what would you tune it for?
Right. Exactly right. I'm glad I'm not the only one that at some point kind of thought that. Yeah. Let me see if I can ruin this AIO now. Ready? Here we go. I don't know. It looks like there used to be little tiny capacitors next to where these pads are that have now disappeared, but it might also be they might be little jumpers.
Sometimes they add those in case they need to add capacitance when they're doing the like prototyping phase, and then those pads end up making it all the way to production, and they just leave the capacitors off of them.
Interesting. What's funny is someone has accidentally put solder onto these 2 pads.
Well, that can also happen too. Do you have another one of those boards? You should check and see if they have components on them.
I don't. But you know, I can see in the picture on their website that these are supposed to be in the picture on the website. They're supposed to be bridged. Look at this.
I would not bridge them if they are that way and it's working. Don't touch it.
That's them, and that's a blob of solder if I've ever seen one. Right? Weird.
Yeah, that's definitely bridged. I wonder if there's continuity between those pads and the castellations on the side right there.
Oh yeah, right. True. I can't even get them to bridge. I mean, they're not bridged, and they're not going to be bridged because I'm not easily able to get them bridged. But I mean, well, now it's actually bridged. As soon as I said that, one of them is. I'm actually going to see if I can bridge these, just because it's like that in a picture. They might have been bridged a minute ago. They might not have been. They had weird blobs of solder on them. I don't usually. Ugh. Canon just shut
In
off.
chat, have a Super X HD that they can confirm or confirm which way they are.
Good call. There we go. Well, see, I can't tell if it's bridged or not. It's hard to bridge these. God, it's easy to get them unbridged, but... And I don't usually do this, so I don't really have any tricks to it. I'm just trying to kind of figure it out right now. Like, do I slowly remove the blob of solder, or... might have. I mean, they'll definitely. I think they're bridged right now. They'll definitely bridge once the once all this flux melts off of here. So I could probably hit this with a toothbrush, to remove the flux, and then pretty easily bridge it. But let me just try one more time. My current thinking is, if I slowly remove the heat source, the solder will do that Hershey Kiss thing that we always hate.
Ciotti, you're still on desktop. Also, EOS crapped.
Call. Yeah, I heard it. This is bridged right now, but it's a little ugly. So I'm going to be a lunatic. I'm also kind of curious as to how to get these to bridge. Like, what's the trick to getting them to bridge?
I mean, when I have pads that do that, I'll cut a little bit. I keep a old tiny whoop stator, and I'll unwind a little bit of it and clean there's ceramic coating on those wires inside. Clean it off and snip a little bit and use that to bridge the two pads.
Yeah. Boy, that would be tough with these because these are close together. What I did just have luck with is so if these are the two pads, I waited until all the flux was burned off, and I put the tip of the soldering iron on both of them. And then what I was trying to do was lift it up, and that did work. The solder chased the thing, and it made the little Hershey Kiss looking bastard. But what worked even better and looks a lot nicer just now is I went like this. I just slid it sideways, and the solder on this one chased the soldering iron. And then as soon as it hit this pad, now it was happy, and it just stayed bridged, and it's not all tall. So there you guys go. If you need to bridge pads, that might work for you. That was interesting.
Mupshot says, need to check there's a bridge for a ELRS, and that would be my guess, is that it's whether you're using the built-in Express LRS versus an external.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's why I didn't want to leave them not bridged, even though they didn't look bridged. Well, let's make sure that it'll bind. Right now, because if there's a chance. Usually bridges mean you're turning something on, but they don't necessarily need to. There's nothing that says that a bridge can't turn something off. So there's a chance that I just turned ELRS off, and I would like to figure that out now before I build this whole goddamn thing. So let's come over here and see what's happening. I tried to launch Beta Flight earlier and it took forever. Go ahead, Kevin.
Here's a stepper for you. I'm trying to think through it. Life Behind Bars says, hey, I've got an X12 ELRS Pro AIO that keeps reverting my VTx back to Fact Shark 3 instead of R8, like I said in Beta Flight and in my OSD. Any thoughts? What would cause video channel to revert like that?
Hold on. I need to read it. Where's that at? Life Behind Bars?
Yeah, Life Behind Bars, about 10 up from the bottom. He tagged me. He didn't.
Oh yeah. So your VTx table is jacked up. You got to fix your VTx table.
Is that the open VTx table that he needs for that AIO?
Probably. The X12s can be a pain in the ass with the VTx tables. So, I'll bet you that your VTx table is just not working. It's not that it's not remembering. It's just that it's not working right. You're probably gonna have to. Man, last time I had to deal with that, it took some time. It was a pain. But yeah, I bet you that's the problem. Is that you've got an unhappy. You've got the wrong VTx table in there. The VTx table is basically just not working. Express LRS. All right, come on. Work for me just this one time, Express LRS, please. Oh, wait, no, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I want to do. No, 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 no. I want to disconnect from this and do it the intelligent way, which is the web flasher. The way that actually works pretty much every single time. So what do we got? Receiver. And then we're going to go to happy model. What's happening? Can you... There we go. Yeah, might as well update this while we're at it. Happy model 2.4. And then AIO. Next. Find phrase. Advanced settings. No, we don't need that. We need flashing method. Betaflight pass-through. Next. Betaflight. Connect. All right. Just work. Just work. Be in the 99th percentile. No! Wrong target selected. Really? Let's take a look. Yeah, sometimes you have to use this EP1 target with these AIOs. That's happened to me before. Betaflight pass-through. Next. Here. Connect. Let's see. Cannot detect receiver target blindly flashing. Let's go for it. What's the worst that could happen? It bricks it? Then I got less work to do. All right, let me get this Canon camera back up here.
The Express LRS MCU is, quote, unbrickable the same way that Betaflight flight controllers are unbrickable. They're boot. You can always hold the boot button on the hold the boot button / bridge pad or whatever in order to get them back going.
All right, so that updated, and it's got the binding phrase. Let's see if I get a connection on the receiver.
Mupshut says, no, I don't think you want them bridged, but I want to see it. I'm looking to see if it's in the documentation anywhere. Like, this is the kind of thing that they need to...
right.
They really, really need to tell you.
Well, regardless of what they do, ELRS is connecting. And, like, I doubt that they... I mean, there's no VTx on here, right? So that it's obviously not turning a VTx on or off. I can't imagine what else they would do. Like,
is it a F411 or an F405 on this board?
Are two motors not going to work now?
411.
I believe it is a 411.
It's a 411. So there's only two exposed UARTs on the 411.
I can read and
did you happen to see in there whether UART 1 or UART 2 was the RX? I suspect that it's UART 1 is the RX, is the receiver.
Oh, in
Betaflight when you were in there.
Oh, right. Well, the pads on the right side that I'm soldering to are TX and RX2, and then the pads on the left side are TX and RX1.
And there's an S bus directly next to it, so that's the inverted pad, which says to me that it's probably the receiver is on TX1, and then smart audio or MSP DisplayPort or whatever is on the TX2 pad.
It's so quick to check it. Might as well just plug it in real fast here.
Yeah. Because this is the 5-in-1 with the VTx, yeah.
UART 2, look at that. Well, shit, I don't want to put... That's annoying. Oh, I wonder if these change which UART the
No, don't mess with those.
On.
I don't think you mess with those right now.
Because I can't put the I can't put Walksnail on UART 2. now.
Well,
You know what I
VTX
mean?
is in UART1, right? And so you should be able to use that.
That's on the wrong side
I
of the
don't know
board, though.
why.
I really want to hook up to these
Mm.
to this right side of the board here. Shit sticks. I mean, I don't think I've never tried it before. I don't think I can put
There is.
Walksnail on the same UART as the Serial RX, right?
It is also possible that their documentation is wrong, which has been a thing in HIFPV's history.
Let's do this. Let's just confirm that I know it connected via ELRS, but let's confirm that the signals are
It
getting
sticks.
into the
Yeah.
receiver tab. So wait for connection. So what's going on is that we've confirmed that I haven't turned off ELRS by jumping those pads. Although oddly enough, it's not connecting now. The ELRS connecting, though, is different than the ELRS signal then getting here to the receiver tab. This is super weird. Why is this? Oh, because it's in Wi-Fi mode. Okay, hold on. Cycle the power.
Also, is this receiver bound / Wi-Fi or binding passphrased?
There we go. Yep, I did that when I updated it a second ago. All right, cool. So we're gonna connect, and we're gonna come in here to receiver, and yeah, see, so UART2 is being used for passing ELRS through here. So I can't use UART2 for Walksnail. I'm gonna have to hook this up to the pads on the other side of the board. Because I'm assuming, again, I've never tried it, but I'm assuming I can't go like this. I don't think that'll work. I don't think you can use the same UART for both.
Yeah, that UART is definitely Open VTX does something weird on those Mobula 6 2024s, right? Where it has both the RX and the VTX on the same UART, but I don't know what black magic they've done to those boards to make that work.
Right. Let's see if they talk about it here. They've got a couple interesting little notes around here. Notes, IRS S-Bus and RX1 couldn't be used at the same time. Okay, yeah, we know that. But there's something interesting down here. Update log. Add ESP8285 boot pads better for upgrade onboard ELRS receiver firmware. Great. And then
that's so that
here.
you can unbrick those, unbrick the ELRS if you flash a bad
okay.
one on it. Yeah, that's what that is for.
So built-in UART ELRS receiver default is connected to you. I'm wondering if there's a way to like change that, right? Like, if we unjump one of these pads, will it switch the default to UART 1? Right?
I don't think so.
Why would they put a set of UART 2 pads on this thing if the ELRS is eating the UART 2? I guess you can unbridge something somewhere to turn ELRS off.
So that if you're still rocking, if you're still rocking Crossfire, you can put a Crossfire receiver on this thing.
Yep. What is this? What do you tell me here? ELRS receiver. Oh, here we go. So the bottom set of jumpers is the ELRS receiver.
Yep.
Wait, what?
ELRS receive TX.
Look at this. Look at how they're...
Yeah, that's right. Because from the receiver, TX has to go to RX, and from the receiver, RX has to go to TX. Yeah, so that
unbridging them turns off the internal.
That's
ELRS.
what I'm guessing. Yeah.
And then you can... Oh, fuck. So I have to use these pads. God damn it.
Crazy to me that they put the S-Bus pad on the other side, but I don't know. I'm not a board designer, so.
All right. Well... Balls. Okay. So now I get to peel off liquid electric tape, because what I'm not going to do, so they've got these wires going inboard, and they've got liquid electric tape on the top. What I'm not going to do on general principle is loop these up and over. That probably won't even clear. It'll just look ridiculous, and it might not even clear. It would clear this, but I'm not going out like that. I'm gonna send these wires out, and then they're just gonna have to go straight down. And so the true pain now begins. Liquid electric tape is the goddamn worst. And the best way that I've found, unbelievably, the best way that I've found to remove it is with my fingernail. I've tried everything, and this is it. This is the way to do it. And it sucks because, like, you scrape at it and then it just rebounds back. But if you just keep fucking scraping at it like a lunatic, eventually you'll get most of it. And then you just kind of ignore the rest of it and you hammer on it with a soldering iron with a bunch of flux. And you should be okay because there's obviously none between the pad and the wire. So it ain't going to look pretty, but you should at least be able to get it working. I do sometimes have a little bit of luck with a toothpick, actually. I should have one up here.
Yeah, toothpick is also less likely to break components off the board than like fine tip tweezers.
Indeed. Yeah, don't use anything metal. All right, so like where my fingernail won't get is in between these pads, so that's what I use the toothpick for. So I'm just trying to like pull the liquid electric tape outwards, and then I can hopefully catch it with my fingernail. But in this case, it ain't working. But again, with this stuff, you just have to keep doing this over and over and over again. It's just like, it's like, not sticky, but it's just like floppy. It's so floppy that when you try to scrape it, it just kind of moves out of the way. Very annoying. I wish the manufacturers would stop using it. If they would use like E6000 instead, it would be great because then it would come off in one big blob. That is the main problem with liquid electric tape, is it never comes off in one big blob. It breaks up into little chunks. I'm sure it works well, but if you ever have to work on it, if you ever have to rework something, basically, right, which is what we're doing here, it sucks a big bag of donkeys. But I'm actually getting this off. This is not too bad. What's happening in chat? Anything fun? Anybody tagging me saying something interesting?
Let's see. So he didn't tag you, but Jimmy the Cow 2000 has to go save his girlfriend from shower issues. Which would you rather do, Ciotti? Deal with liquid electric tape or go fix some plumbing issues?
Oh, man. I really don't like plumbing stuff. I might rather do this.
Yeah. So both like all plumbing stuff is fraught with peril because it's like if you get it wrong, it's like your house now has water in it, and depending on which side it is, potentially stinky water.
Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
I've never fucked with plumbing other than like super simple stuff, and even just doing the super simple stuff, I'm like, no.
and then Frank Nicholas, shout out to his granddaughter needs 50 subs. She is at
Ooh.
43 last I looked.
Yeah,
She is
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
get to be in that YouTube streaming game.
Yeah, hey, Frank, you're a mod. You should be able to post the link.
Yep.
I know there's 20 of you out there that are willing to subscribe to a channel that you're never gonna watch. Please just do it. It's a super ridiculous thing that YouTube forces you to do. So yeah, whoever is subscribed to lots of channels that they never watch, for the love of God, go help Frank's niece out. Or if you guys have like alt accounts, yeah, get that going. Awesome. Good call. Hopefully we can get that now. If not now, then somebody hopefully leave a comment in the stream with the link over to that channel. Well, what's the name of the channel? Like, what would we search for in YouTube to find it for people that are watching this after the fact if they want to be generous and help? Cool. Awesome. Oh man, she's probably have more subs than me if she's doing shorts. All right, so I got most of that off. We're now just gonna smash through with the. All right, I'm gonna put this thing like that so that I remember. We're just gonna smash through the rest of this liquid electric tape with heat. All right, cool. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's get this going, and I'm just gonna yoink all 4 of these off of here. Oh God, I soldered it back down. Come on now. There we go. 1. I'm gonna reuse these wires. 2. These 2 at the same time. Nope. 3 and 4. Come on. Get out of there. All right, cool. I'm not scrolled to the bottom. Mick Mucus with a $4.20 weed number super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, thanks for the M1.7 prop hole trick. Dude, isn't that cool? For anybody that doesn't know what he's talking about, there was finally something on a Facebook FPV group that had actual value other than just ruining people's lives, giving them the wrong advice. These are going to be for sale on my Etsy at some point, but I got a whole bag of these M1.7 screws that you can use on 1.5 millimeter center hole propellers to tighten the center hole up. The Happy Model 1103s, for example, the motor shaft is a little bit shorter, and these awesome GemFan 2023S's fly right off of those motors if you crash them hard. You take one of these M1.7s, you run it up through the prop hole, and it does like what we try to do with the sharp-tipped tweezers, and it raises the plastic, and it makes the prop fit 1,000 times better. I ran one of these all the way through this prop hole, and this propeller, I had to then drill it out because it was too tight. So yeah, these are 1.5 millimeter prop tighteners that I'm gonna get on the Etsy store at some point here. If you need one, just let me know. They'll be the price of shipping, which is $5. Really, really, really cool little trick. Okay, so I'm gonna put these wires back on, but I'm gonna put them going outwards so that I can then loop them straight down to the pads that I need to solder to over here. So let's take whichever side is cleaner, which is this side. Let me actually take a look at these pads. No, I'm gonna use this side. Actually, let me try to clean these pads up a little bit. I'm gonna add a nice blob of flux here, and I'm just gonna heat all 4 of these pads up to get as much of this liquid electric tape off as I possibly can. We're gonna clean the tip of the soldering iron when we remove it from the stand, not when we put it into the stand. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here at sort of like an angle and get the whole pad hot, and then just like push outwards to try to get any extra little remnants of that liquid electric tape off. Heat the pad up, and then push outwards. Heat the pad up, push outwards, heat, and push out. And now the liquid electric tape is like kind of on the outside edge of the board. I should not use the tip of the soldering iron to do that. I should just use my finger. The reason that I cleaned the soldering iron just now was to get the liquid electric tape off of it. But now I can just kind of do one of these, and we are pretty much free of liquid electric tape. which is nice. That's what it looks like now. Still a little tiny bit of it there in between them, but those pads are incredibly clean now. So yeah, annoying to deal with, but it is deal with-able. Okay, so I put this thing here to remind me. So red first, going outwards. Although I do have a little bit of... Well, actually... yeah, I've reused this. This will be fine. No, I'm going to cut these. I'm going to cut these and re-strip them. Because that's the right thing to do. Okay. And one of the things I really love about the Omnifixo's flat jaws are that they hold wires really, really well. And so, because the jaws close like that, rather than alligator clips, which kind of like hinge, these close like this, so you can put wires in them really easily. Okay. Wait a second. Let me do this the smart way. I'm going to solder these onto... these pads are going to be a lot harder to deal with on the AIO because they're much smaller. So I'm going to solder these onto the AIO first, and then I'm going to solder them onto this because these pads are much bigger and easier to use. So let's get this into a position that I can get good access to these pads. No, I don't think they have an affiliate program, actually. It doesn't seem like they do. I should probably ask, though. All right, so I'm now going to have to tin these pads on this side. We've got first one, second one, skip, and then fourth and fifth. Okay, that's not too bad. So we're going to tin them first. First, second, skip the middle, which is S-bus, and then fourth and fifth. All right. I see a bunch of you guys subbing. Thank you. Patty Newbie says 48 out of 50. We're almost there. Yeah. Why? What the hell just happened? Discord. What? Talk again, Kevin? What in the world? Try again? It did. It just... That's so stupid. What? What on earth? And now watch. If I do this, if I go to macOS audio capture, add exist. Oh, let me try this actually. Add existing. Nope. Still not working. What the shit? Okay. Well, that's pretty silly. Remove. Oh, Discord is angry. There it goes. Not Discord. Wow, okay. So I got to figure out a different way of doing this. Media source. macOS audio capture.
Stream, so.
It did application audio capture, and then... Well, so let me try this, actually. Let me try this. Instead of application audio capture, I'm going to do desktop audio capture, and I'm going to hit OK.
Sure.
All right, so that's working. Interesting.
Okay.
So we'll see how long that lasts. I only have it on this one scene, but...
Somebody in chat confirm that y'all can hear me.
I can see it on the bar. I can see the volume.
You see the UV meter going?
Where did I have you? I had you down 10 dB, I think.
Okay.
1 dB rather, not 10.
Danzilla says, I came here to hear Kevin Sumner, not this at CiottiFPV guy.
You and me both, dude. You and me both. All right, let's tin the right pads here. Man, I thought for sure I'd be able to get this build done because it was just the one hookup, but of course problems on problems on problems on problems.
Murphy's Law of FPV builds.
Oh, for real. I was riding the high of getting that Cinesplorer build done in like 3 streams.
Did you only work on it on the streams? Because a 6 hour build is
No.
pretty average, I feel.
No, I probably have about 8 into it so far. But I've been doing it like in little pieces here and there.
Yeah.
Wow, these are itty bitty pads. I'm actually really happy that I'm doing this first. So up front we've got TX1. So I'm gonna go left to right so that I'm not crossing over myself. And I'm gonna match up the wire colors to the way Walksnail does it. And so Walksnail has their RX as white. So my first pad is TX, so that's gonna be white. All right. Let's see how this goes. Boy, this is. Hold on. I'm gonna lose Kevin again, and I'm gonna do add Mac OS audio capture, add existing. Okay, he's back. All right, let's see. Let's see how this goes. So, the Yocto Soon head-mounted magnifier has the most magnified lens in, which is 3.5x, and I can see this, but I wish there was like 5x. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Hold on, I'm gonna have to focus for a second. Woo! Okay, that is doable. Having those little pockets to get the wire into is kind of the only reason I was able to do this. It gives me a tactile sensation of when the wire actually goes into that little pocket. I'm pretty sure that either this isn't going to focus or you guys just aren't going to be able to see what the hell's going on here, but I'm going to just put it there and we'll see what's what. Yeah, this is rough, but kind of doable. Unbelievably. Well, so far, the first one. Let's see how it goes from here.
Its render in it says my builds are down to like 2.5 hours for a 5-inch with an electric screwdriver. My feeling is that 5-inch builds faster than 3-inch, just because you got a little more room to play with, especially if you're doing a 30 mil, yeah, or 30 mil electronics instead of 20.
Yeah, small builds always take longer, other than whoops, right? Because there's just less. But like,
Yeah, there's
a
like
2.5
3 wires on
inch
a
or
loop.
3-inch build with an external VTx and an external receiver is like almost always a nightmare. Especially just because like you spend all your time figuring out where the fuck the wires are gonna go, like how you're gonna package stuff. Like, it's super annoying. If you can do like the same build twice, my god, the second time you do the build, it's like a joke.
Yeah, I think I have 4 rip squeaks right now that are flyable, and the first one was a pain in the butt, and they got substantially easier. I think the last one I put together in about 3 hours,
That's not bad at all.
just because I knew exactly where everything needed to go on that build.
Yeah, for sure. All right, one more. This is gonna be the hardest one because it's the ground pad. It's gonna eat all the heat. But let's see. Camera focused at all?
No, it wants to see your Fly Tribe shirt.
Awesome. Woo! Okay. I think they're pretty close. I'm gonna have to look with a 5x loop though. I think they're all in the little pockets. There, you guys can kind of see. Let me actually look at this with real magnification. to see if I managed to get them in there. Oh, no shit. Yep. They're good. Cool. The next test is going to be, do they just go smashing straight up into the Walksnail board? So what I'm going to do, to hopefully prevent that, is just give them, I'm going to start to just push these outwards, and I'm going to use my finger because my flesh is kind of soft, and it'll hopefully not right angle these wires. It'll give them a little bit of a gentle bend. These 30 gauge wires are really fragile, and that worked really, really well, actually. So this turned out better than I thought. See how it's got that nice gentle angle? That should be enough. This board is smaller than this board, right? So they're gonna, you're right, like they're gonna run right up into it. Cool, that worked out. So now we're going to run these straight up to this Walksnail VTx, and I don't know if this, you know, I'm going to do this in the frame, actually, because the frame will hold these two boards. It'll kind of like line these two boards up. Let's see how this works.
So Ciotti, FPV Ocito says, what flight controller would you recommend for a 2S 1.8-inch build, analog with Express LRS?
The Mobula, analog, X12. Yeah, for 2S analog builds, X12 is just the easy button. It's like, I mean, there aren't many options. It's either that or there's like an $80 Flywoo board, which is just silly.
Is
and
the
then
T-motor
there's the HDLRC Spectre, but FHDLRC.
Does the T-motor AIO, if you can still get it, support 2S? The bigger one?
They had two AIOs. One of them was definitely 1S only. I don't remember what the other one is. That's a good question.
What about the Tune RC?
I have pounded. I don't know if. Well, Tune RC has some stuff that's like 2S to 4S, but I have some weird memory of Quad 66 realizing that like on 2S they didn't work right, and you had to put them on like 3 or 4S to get it working right. That was an awful long time ago, though. I don't know. I have abused these X12s so much that like I really trust them. And like they're available, and they're just, yeah. If Tune RC has something, that would probably be good. But I know a lot of times the Tune RC boards won't have ELRS built in.
So their 1S board, that it's a no RX board and no VTX board, is 1S 2S. That's the one that Bob Ruge used to recommend for the baby tooth.
Yeah,
I don't know if he still does.
yeah.
Actually,
But yeah, putting in an external VTX and an external receiver is just insane. Like,
yeah,
it's just don't do that to yourself kind of territory. Yeah, X12, man. So many of us have these X12s running, and they just keep going. I don't understand how or why, but I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just going to keep using them. And like for the price, yeah.
Dude. FPV Ocito says, "Dang, X12 5-in-1 is $83.99 US cheeseburger dollars."
Are you kidding me? What the
they
hell?
It's them tariffs, man.
Yeah.
They're eating us alive.
If Flywoo, I think Flywoo has something. If it has, oh no, the Flywoo board won't have a VTX built in. Jesus. I mean, if a Happy Model board's that expensive, all the other ones are going to be even more. So,
yeah,
it's weirdly, possibly a bargain at that price. Okay, so this is going to go like that, and so we just got to get these wrapped up and around. And I'm gonna put one single screw through here. I think these are M1.2s. Yeah, these are super long, but I'm just going to run one. Nah, you know, I'm not going to use that.
The B-Brain V5, does that have the bad OSD chip on it?
Yeah, they pretty much all do. Still, even the new one. I guess the brand new one is okay, but it's 1S only. I don't think there is a 2S B-Brain board with a...
No, the B-Brain BLV5 AIO Express LRS 2G4 supports 1 and 2S.
ELRS, you mean? Not 2G4.
Sorry, yeah, ELRS 2.4 gig.
Yeah, so that's the BLV5.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
V5.
that still has the shitty OSD. That's what's in. That's what's in this, and it's just ridiculous. The only I think I misspoke a minute ago. The only newbie drone board with a half decent looking video image is the Hummingbird Race V, whatever is on that brand new, the Hummingbird V4. That's it. The Hummingbird V4 is the only one that has half decent looking video quality. It's
And that
madness.
board's 1S only, right?
And it's 1S only. Yep. And and it does that OSD flickering thing here and there, which is for some people completely
Right.
maddening. I'm not going to say that I'm not one of those people, because I kind of am. Okay, one little screw just to kind of hold this. I didn't even really tighten it. I don't want this to be moving around on me. So this board, I'm gonna have to cross these wires over a bunch. This board, it looks like voltage, ground, white, and then gray. And I set the colors up so that they're correct. Okay, so I'm gonna go closest to farthest. So that means it's gray first. Yeah, these wires all have to cross over each other, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. And so I'm gonna get this white wire out of the way. The gray wire. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking down here. I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra, but not a lot, because these wires are going to get close to the propeller at this point in here, right? And so I'm just going to loop it out a little bit, and then I'm literally holding the motor on top, holding the wire on top of the pad, and then I'm going to snip it right at the end of the pad, because I have all of the extra wire that I want already added in there. Ooh, this is sketchy. Alright, so that's the gray wire. I'm going to run that one first, and now this white wire is going to hang out here on the outside. Because they have to cross, I'm going to pick the gray wire to be the one that's closest to the board, and then the white wire is going to cross it. So the white, I'm going to do that right now to make sure I don't cut the white wire too short. If I just ran the white wire directly to this pad, it would end up being too short, because it's going to get pushed out a little bit when it crosses over the gray wire. Hopefully that makes sense. Really makes sense to me. Alright. And so I think that's about right. These builds are hard. Anybody that's done one of these double stack builds, well, doing this with the 04 setup is a lot easier because it's got that plug header. But anybody that's done one of these Walksnail double stack boards knows, like, this just kind of sucks, if I'm really honest. All right, ground is next, I believe. Yes, so ground is next, and I got the same situation here where the ground wire is gonna be the one that sits closest to the board, and then the voltage wire is going to cross it. So I got just a little bit of extra length on this ground wire. That looks pretty good. And we're just going to nip it right here. Ooh, nope. Easy. Careful. All right. And then we've got the voltage wire, which is going to go outside of the ground. That looks about right. Well, let's see. If I cut any of these too short, it's kind of game over. I'm gonna have to just redo them, but not that much of a disaster. But I will be very annoyed. Let's see.
So Nyafu pointed out that there is the Happy Model makes an X14. Are you aware of this board? Do you have any experience with it?
Yeah, no, it's brand new. I haven't heard anything about it, but I saw that it was a thing. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think it has black box.
Yeah, it's got the G4 processor, which is more powerful than the F411.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
four
what you should
UARTs.
get.
Whoa.
Screw the X12.
Yeah.
Try the X14 for us. Let us know if it blows up. Somebody's got to guinea pig it. It's probably awesome. I mean, Happy Model's been doing really, really, really staggeringly decent quality AIOs for a while now. So in theory, that X14 is the jam. Having I'm actually going to take this out of here now. Well, am I? Having black box on a tiny whoop is amazing. So yeah, that's that board should be good, man. That ground cable looks like it's going to be too short. I may have made a error here, but we'll find out together.
I mean, when you get it, if you do get an X14 board, take that XT30 that comes in the box, shove it into your box of parts, and immediately put a BT30 on it.
Yeah, it is. I think, what did we figure out? We figured out the weight savings at some point. I think it's like 3, almost 4 grams.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you could argue that on the I have not switched the 2-inch whoop off of XT30. But that's got those big old 1003s, and like it's making lots of power, and but like if you're gonna do a 1.6 inch setup, yeah, BT 3.0 is your way to go. You're gonna want to save that extra weight.
Yeah, save that weight for something else like a transmitter or a better camera.
Yeah, for sure. The analog, the 2S 1.6 inch analog rigs versus any of the HD carrying rigs. Like they all fly unbelievably good. They all just demolish any 1S outdoor rig. But boy, is there a difference between those two setups. You can really feel the even though they have like infinite power, you can absolutely feel the difference in the all up weight between the analog and the HD ones, which I kind of didn't. I didn't think it would be as noticeable. Because they're just making so much power. But yeah, I mean, weight is weight. As soon as you go to change direction, you can absolutely tell.
Danzilla is wondering what the difference between the X12 and the X12 Pro is. Is it just the VTx?
Yeah, didn't they do Open VTx? I think.
X12.
I think that's what they changed on the Pro.
So, some of you in chat probably know I am the easiest person in the world to nerd snipe, and here we go.
So that's called nerd sniping. I've never heard of that before. That's
yeah. It's when you bait somebody with some bit of information that they either don't know, or a problem that they don't exactly know, some intellectual problem they don't know how to solve. Awesome. Yeah, it's called nerd sniping because they'll run off and go do that for the next 10 minutes or whatever. 2 years in some cases.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay. I had to re-strip this one cable. I didn't strip off quite enough. Whoo, boy. This is ultra fiddly. I haven't had to work this hard on a build in a little while. I remember when I first did the Walksnail 2S build, I was like, yo, this is a lot. Doing the 04 build with the connector on one side is significantly easier than doing this as a direct solder job. And like, to be totally honest, this sucks to like live with compared to having a connector. Um, I do wish that they had put a connector on the Walksnail light, but I understand why they didn't. And it does make getting the two boards close together a lot easier. So pluses and minuses. Being very careful not to let a solder ball go either into the motor or onto the board right now. And I'm just doing that by like making sure that I can see what I'm doing. Now, that seems kind of basic, but a lot of times, especially when you're doing tiny little work like this, like you'll just kind of like put the tip of the soldering iron where you think it needs to go, and then when you see the puff of smoke, you're like, okay, cool, it's tinned. If you're doing soldering work up above the AIO, you can't do that. You have to move your head. You have to have magnification on. You have to be able to see what the hell's going on because the solder balls are infinitely small. All right, well, here goes nothing on this. Let's see if I cut these guys too short or not. I'm going to do this in the frame. This is super weird doing this work with it in the frame, but these wire runs are so short that I almost have to.
So Dan, to answer your question, the difference between the X12 and the X12 Pro that I can see is the X12 Pro has UART ELRS, and the
shit.
X12
Okay.
plain has SPI. So definitely get the Pro if you can.
Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, so I'm going to put the bends in these wires now. Ooh, boy. Okay, here we go. So I don't like doing this in the frame because it's going to do this. I can maybe like tuck these motor wires in a little bit better here. Yeah, okay. So it was just that one motor wire, but this is still kind of sketchy. Don't do it this way. Actually, I'll bet you this is just barely big enough. How am I doing this? I'm bringing the soldering iron in like that. So I'll bet I can grab, yeah, Omnifix fucking oh. There we go. Oh. Yeah, 3 is fine. Yeah, way better. Okay. All right. Here goes nothing. Gray first. I think I burned off all the flux trying to get that liquid electric tape on. So we're going to add some more. I'm going to add it both to the pads and to the wires. Because when you're doing tiny little work like this, you want to be as quick as you possibly can. Especially when you've got the wires bending as soon as they leave the pads, right? I've got these wires making a 90-degree turn. So the quicker I get in and out, the less solder is going to chase down the wire and make that bend a bit of a nightmare. All right, here we go. So make absolutely sure it's in position. And then I'm going to try to literally just like tap and go. Nope. Not quite enough time on the pad. There we go. Shit, there's not enough solder there. All right, now I know. Okay, rework this one super quick. There it is. All right, there's one. White wire is next. And again, I'm going to put the bend into the wire right now. Okay. And I'm actually going to do these other two so that I can not have to do these one by one like this. Put the bend in it here. And then the voltage wire, which is looking like I actually made it too long. bend in it. There. Alright, let's see if I can do these 3 in a row. Soldering iron's getting bored, so it decided to cool itself off. Heat back up, you bastard. Come on. There it goes. Alright, I'm going to pick up a little bit of solder again on the tip of the iron here, because I now know that there's not quite enough solder on these pads. And now this is where it gets hard, because I can't hold the tweezers flat anymore, because the gray wire's in the way. So let me try to come over like this. Yeah, that's the move. Oh, there it is, perfect. Go, go, go. It's a little cloudy, but it's nice and smooth. Moving on. Ground wire, this is the shortest one. It comes perfectly straight up. Alright, so right now I'm not moving the work to me, and that's one of the reasons I was struggling so bad, so reposition it, and now this is much easier. It can be even easier if I keep rotating it though. There we go, that's better.
So, Ciotti, I don't know that you follow Linus Tech Tips at all.
Not even a little bit.
So recently, one of their main writers and tech guys, Alex, and one of their camera guys, whose name escapes me at the moment, split off and started their own car channel called Zip Tie Tuning. Have you seen it?
No.
So they are messing around with, Alex has a BMW, forget, M3 maybe? And the camera guy has a Miata, I think.
Nice.
And they're doing garage stuff.
Sure.
It's just the two of them, and occasionally they get one of the other former LTT hosts to come on. It's a pretty good time. You should check it out.
Very cool. What's it called? Zip tie?
Zip Tie Tuning.
Zip tie tuning. Nice. Well, this turned out okay. 3 of the 4 pads are not shiny, but I don't care. They are smooth, and they are flat on the pads, and they are perfectly centered on the pads. And so I am not going to rework these and put more fresh solder. It's probably because this is leaded solder on here. I should have removed all the solder and added... I'm sorry, is unleaded solder on here. I should have removed it and added fresh, but too late now. This will be totally fine. There we go. Nice short wire runs. And now, so here is where this becomes a pain in the ass. Because these wire runs are so short. And I mean, it's only a pain in the ass when you have to work on it, which shouldn't be very often. But with these short wire runs, there's just not a lot of like... let me switch up to here. You can't... Well, that's actually not too bad. It's just that these 2 boards are now like basically hinged. So if there's some weird scenario where I really need to move this board around, like I just kind of can't. But you know, this is actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, that's actually not terrible. Okay, fair enough. Well, there it is. There's the soldering done. Now it's just getting the 2 boards not to hit each other, which we've already kind of gone down that path. One of the things to figure out is how can you get this ELRS antenna out from between these 2 boards. You're going to get the worst reception imaginable. It's actually pretty good because the ELRS is insane, but the worst thing you can possibly do to an antenna is to put it in between 2 big thick sheets of copper. So what I'm doing is I'm finding the shortest possible run, which is going to be to go this way. So I'm going to go straight out here and then up and up into the canopy basically. And so let me just take a quick look at the antenna itself. Yeah, so that's fine. So we're going to come up like this, and then I'm going to make a right angle here, and then it's going to go up into the canopy here. So once the canopy is on top, that antenna is going to be right inside of it. So it's nice and protected, but we've got the maximum amount of antenna possible going vertical. Like that. See the antenna, little copper bastard going up into the canopy there? So that's what you want to do whenever you do these double stack setups, is get that, figure out the shortest possible path for that antenna, and then get it out from in between the boards, and then get it going straight up. And obviously keep it protected, but yeah. Cool. So
the other reason to get it up is that
it feels good.
Hey! Oh, that's what she said. The control signals are linear polarized, and so if you keep it horizontal, you get horizontally polarized. And most people run their antennae on their controllers vertically, and so you'll be cross polarized, in which case you get worse range. So both antennas up.
There you go. Indeed. Cool. MIPI plug. I should probably put a little bit of E6000 on here, but these don't get yanked on. There's no reason for this to come unplugged. On like a big nasty freestyle build. Yeah, okay, but we'll be all right here. And so now, of course, the MIPI plug is going to be exactly on top of where this antenna... Nah, it's actually fine. Never mind. So that's looking all right. The canopy is the key at this point. So we get this wire kind of straightened out here. I am going to need to get this antenna on here. One of the things I love about the Mobula 6 canopy is this hole right here. The hole in the middle is just big enough for a UFL to pass through, and it puts the camera up at like a 45-degree angle. It's just fantastic. And it is actually exactly like what the antenna mounting setup for these 46mm ORT antennas that they make for me is designed for. And so in this case, because the way we were looking at the canopy before, we're going to run this antenna straight forward. So let's get it snapped on. Well, no. Got to go through the canopy first. And so this is where these builds get fiddly, because you got to like plug a lot of stuff in before you assemble it the rest of the way. And so let's just get this fed through there. And then we're going to get this UFL snapped down. Get in there. There we go. Stephen Corley says, building my second 2S75 with the X12 AIO. What motors and camera do you recommend? I have HD0 goggles, but haven't invested in any other HD equipment. Analog seems fine for now. Yeah, do analog. Camera is totally personal preference. Most of us like the way that the CO3 looks. Pain in the ass about the CO3 is that that's not true. There are now good mounting solutions for it, so I can't say that anymore. But yeah, camera is kind of personal preference. It's very personal preference, I should say. Motors, though, if you want to stay lightweight, the an 0802 is the way to go. And in most cases, on a 2S analog setup, yeah, that's the way you want to go. You want to be like 18,000, 19,000 kV, and you want 1.5mm motor shaft for sure. Tiny Whoop has them. I don't know if Weebleed sells an 802 to that spec, but you can certainly check out their website. The 1.5mm motor shaft is going to be what's kind of hard to find. If you want maximum power and cooling, you can go up to a 1002. A 1002 motor is going to run a little bit cooler. Like if you wanted to just put the nose down and hammer around, you might want to go to a 1002 over an 802. But I'll be honest, the 802 is probably going to be absolutely fine.
He's got a couple more follow-ups that didn't tag you in. So the 1103s are too big. Also, needing to know what type of plug that little camera uses too. I bought 75 and 85mm frames. Power for wind here in Texas, it never stops.
All right, hold on. Hit me with those one at a time.
Sure. So 1103s are too big.
what 1103? Yeah. 1103 is way too big. 1103 is for like a 2-inch propeller and HD. So yeah, 1103 is definitely too big.
Okay.
I mean, it would work, but you're just going to be carrying around a bunch of extra weight for no reason.
Okay. On that same train of thought, he says he needs power for wind here in Texas because the wind never stops.
Yeah, so do 1002s then. 1002s will also make it heavier, which will actually help on the wind. So yeah, do a 1002, and then so RC and Power is an easy choice. They've got a 14,000, which will probably be totally fine. But then they also have a 19,000, which is what you're looking at right now. The 19,000, well, here's how you decide. If you want more runtime than power, do the 14,000. If you want more power than runtime, do the 19,000. The 19,000 you're going to have to motor limit down. But I've done it, and it totally works fine.
And then on a 85 millimeter frame, would the 1103s work on the 85 mil, or would you go smaller?
Oh, dude, yeah. You know, if you've got wind all the time, you actually want to do a 2-inch build. So 1002s are still going to be the right motor for that, believe it or not. And you don't want 19,000 kV. You want the 1002 14,000 kVs. And yeah, that thing will rail on analog.
And then last one here, needing to know what type of plug that little camera uses too.
Which little camera?
The one that you're working on. So that Stephen, that's called a MIPI connector, MIPI. It actually stands for the digital it's the name of the digital protocol that these cameras use. The problem is there are 3 standards in FPV for MIPI connectors. There is one for DJI, one for HD0, and one for Walksnail, and none of them are compatible, last I know.
There's 3 standards in FPV for everything.
Remember when everybody ran analog and it was literally just the yellow wire?
Yeah, right? Yeah, it feels like every single... even, like, a lot of the cameras will have the same JST plug, but they'll change where the goddamn wires go in that plug. It's just insane.
Or somebody uses the JST 1.2 and the others use the 1.0 and the other ones use XH, and yeah.
Silly. I might have just... I just messed up the audio. Hold on. The AirPod fell out of my ear, and now it swapped back to using the AirPod as the microphone, which is an insane thing to happen here, but I guess I understand it.
Yeah.
Sound input, not AirPod.
Sure, MV7. So I just need to leave this up. Okay, that's fine.
There we go.
Man,
Okay.
I wish AirPods fit properly in my ears. God, they just don't. They just fall out. And I've tried all the 3 of the different ear things that they give you, and then I even bought a set of memory foam thingies that are a little bit better, but they just fall out. They just fall out of my fucking ears.
So you can get on Amazon things that give you loops that'll go over the top of your ear, and your
Really?
AirPods will slide down into. I would bet there's a 3D printable version online, but Amazon's the easy button.
Good call. Okay, fiddly bit. This is an M1.2 by 12 screw, which is the correct length, which I do sell on my Etsy store so that you guys don't have to buy a bag of 100 and just stare at them for the rest of your lives. In the back here, though, I think I want something a little bit longer because I have this double grommet set up. And so I'm going to do an M1.2 by 14 in the rear here, which is actually what I just had and put away. Of course. I think this one might be even longer. No, this is it, yeah. 2 extra millimeters? What the hell? Hold on. Yeah, that's by 14. Okay. Man, it looked like it was way too long a second ago. That's weird. Were there other questions there that I missed? Or did we get them all?
I think we got them all.
All right, cool. All right, so here we go. Here's the fiddliest of the fiddly. You got to line up the HD board. You got to line up the canopy. You got to try to make sure no wires are getting pinched. And then you got to try to hit the top of the plastic post with the screw. I think I'm there. Boy, I am. And this screw looks like it's way too long. I almost need like an M1.2 by 13, it seems like. But let's just see. What I'm worried about is that it's going to bottom on the plastic before it tightens the canopy. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I missed one from the one, the only Mr. Danzilla the Terrible. He says, I have a cheap solder sucker, but it barely works, and I remember Mr. Ciotti saying that they were bad and can damage by knocking stuff around while hot.
Yeah, early days I had a solder sucker, and I could not get it to work at all. And then when I was asking my dad for tips and stuff, and he's like, get rid of that solder sucker. He basically says that, like the plunger is gonna move when you hit the button, and so you're dumping a bunch of heat into the board, and then that plunger is gonna move no matter what, right? It has to move. Like, yes, they set it up to not jolt around very much, but it's gonna jolt around no matter what. And so when that moves and you've got all that heat in the board, that's a great way to knock components off the board. I've heard from people that there are solder suckers with silicone soft tips on them, which will definitely be a lot better than the one that I had, which had a ceramic tip on it. But the Solder Wick works so goddamn well that I think you should just use Solder Wick to remove solder. This particular Solder Wick is John Wick. Yeah, it's just braid. You get it hot. It sucks the solder up. It's wonderful. What say you, Kevin? What's your opinion on the matter?
So I have Wick.
These are opinions.
I like the Wick for some stuff. For really stubborn work, I have to break out the spring-loaded. I have the silicone tip one. It's from a brand called Engineer, which is, I believe, Japanese. And it has the silicone little piece of tube on the end instead of the hard ceramic thing. But what I'm looking to upgrade to is the solder pump, and that's what I was talking about in chat. So there was a little bit of confusion there. The solder pump is Hacko makes one that applies a gentle pumping while also having it's basically a solder tip with a hole in it. And so you heat it up and you pull the trigger and it just pulls the solder up in with the pump action rather than a violent spring smashing into the back of a piece of metal.
Anything is better than a violent spring, as we all know. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm going to have to see what that's all about. Although, I've worked with the Wick so much that even when shit gets stubborn, I can get through it. So I don't really have much of a reason to change. But that sounds really cool, actually.
If you're doing
like it would work really well.
If you're doing a lot of desoldering work, like if you're working on mechanical keyboards or you're doing electronics repair, like you kind of need the pump. I'm gonna drop a link to it in chat. It is the Hacko FR301. And it is $214.
Holy hell balls. Solder Wick it is. But
I mean, would you want to use Solder Wick on, let me think. The keyboards are typically like a 75% keyboard is like 70 keys, and there's 3 legs per key.
Oh my
so
God.
How much desoldering would that be?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
too much. That's how much.
210 individual solder joints to suck the solder out of.
All right, so I'm gonna have to pull this apart because I have to run. I don't have to, but I kind of have to run grommets on this because this canopy will not bottom out. This canopy is pushing up against components, and that is terrible. Both of these sides, this side is actually fine. This side has enough clearance to bottom out on the PCB, but in the front, it won't bottom, and that is just a recipe for breaking components off the board. So on the next live stream, no, I'm just going to do this now, actually, and this thing will be done. I have to do all the Betaflight stuff as well, but that is totally fine. So I will struggle through putting 3 more BetaFPV blue grommets onto this thing, onto this Walksnail Light VTX, and then, yeah, there won't be plastic pushing on components that are getting obnoxiously hot because the HD systems are ridiculous like that. And then I'll have to use 4 of these M1.2 by 14 screws, which, of course, I put away, but now they're back out. Cool! We got most of the work done. We got all the hard shit done. Kevin, thank you for helping, dude. It's super helpful to just, like, stay buried in the work while you read through the chat. Speaking of chat, thumbs up, chat? Thumbs down? Thumbs in the middle? Hurry up. I really like it, and so as long as Kevin's willing to do it, it's like I could care less about you guys. But I do care about you guys. But in this case, I don't care about you guys. You can go to hell. Wait. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. I dig this. So yeah, for any Mondays that you're willing to do it, if any of you guys want CMYK, I gotta have your ass on here. Do you have a way of getting good audio into Discord, and or do you want to? There's a couple of you guys that I need to have on here. Frank, CMYK, Bob Noxious, yeah, bunch of you guys. I'll if you can get good, decent quality audio into Discord from 10 o'clock to midnight on a Monday night Eastern time, let me know. And yeah, we'll have some guest voices of God floating through, and you guys can do exactly what Kevin just did. Look at all those thumbs up. Awesome. But yeah, I want to have Kevin be like my main guy. So because yeah, just super knowledgeable, super cool dude, and deserves some love from the community because he does all kinds of stuff behind the scenes. Thank you, dude. This will be for sale at some point. If somebody absolutely has to have it, message me. It won't be cheap, but it'll be good. Just like me. Yeah, it works. Yeah, look at that. Be good, friends. I'll talk to you guys all on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Here's some more Flying at Pride with the new outro song from FizzPV. Where is... There it is. I don't know where I'm going to be flying here, but here you guys go. See you in a bit.
I got my goggles on, my socks are off. I'm flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Kitchen to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoops grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad and a soul train frame. We fly that flow. Spread that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. We fly it all. We fly it all. Funky and free, we fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all.